South Korea's President Yoon has defended his martial law decree in what he calls an act of governance and has denied rebellion charges on Thursday. President Yoon rejected the opposition-led impeachment attempts against him and investigations into last week's move in a televised speech. Now, the speech comes hours before the main liberal opposition Democratic Party submits a new impeachment motion against Yoon. The opposition party plans to put the motion on a floor vote Saturday, the 14th of December. Meanwhile, South Korean parliament has passed the bill on special counsel probe into its president's rebellion charge.
하루가 멀다 하고 다수의 힘으로 입법 폭거를 일삼고 오로지 방탄에만 현안되어 있는 거대 야당의 의회 독재에 맞서 대한민국의 자유민주주의와 헌정 질서를 지키려 했던 것입니다. 그 길밖에 없다고 판단해서 내린 대통령의 헌법적 결단이자 통치 행위가 어떻게 내란이 될 수 있습니까? 대통령의 비상계엄 선포권 행사는 사명권 행사, 외교권 행사와 같은 사법심사의 대상이 되지 않는 통치 행위입니다.
A Bangladesh court has rejected the bail plea of Hindu priest Chinmoy Krishna Das on Wednesday. Now, Das has been arrested and jailed by the local authorities on charges of sedition. Local media reported that Chittagong Metropolitan Sessions Judge Mohammad Saiful Islam, who's on vacation, passed the order on Wednesday, citing that the plea was rejected because Das did not have a lawyer's letter of attorney on his behalf. The petition, which will be heard on the 2nd of January next year now, states that Das, a monk who is suffering from various diseases including diabetes and respiratory problems, has been arrested in a false and fabricated case. Foreign powers are racing to shape post-war Syria as various factions seek to fill the power vacuum left by Bashar al-Assad's overthrow. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Jordan and Turkey this week to push Washington's vision for a quote-unquote inclusive Syrian-led transition. Meanwhile, Turkey has moved to weaken Kurdish forces and expand its own influence in the country. Israel has carried out nearly 500 airstrikes on Syria in the last 2 days and has made ground incursions as well. This has prompted criticism from France. Meanwhile, Germany has said it would provide millions in humanitarian aid. According to reports, at least 4 people were injured late Wednesday night following a shooting attack in the West Bank. Paramedics said one of the casualties is in a serious condition. There has also been a rise in stabbing, shooting, and car ramming attacks against Israelis. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has defended President Biden's decision to withdraw from Afghanistan. He appeared before the Republican-led House Foreign Affairs Committee, which has long pressed him about the deadly evacuation. Blinken has refused to take responsibility for the pre-exit decisions. He even urged that the Trump administration's actions weakened Biden's position, and intelligence assessments had predicted Kabul would remain under Afghan government control. His testimony followed a party-line vote nearly 3 months ago, recommending that Blinken be held in contempt of Congress for refusing to appear earlier. India and the United Arab Emirates will carry out a comprehensive review of their strategic ties today. External Affairs Minister S.J. Shankar will be hosting his counterpart from the Gulf nation, Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan, for wide-ranging talks. Al Nahyan, the deputy prime minister, is paying a 3-day visit to India to explore ways to further expand ties between the two countries in a range of areas, including trade and investment. CBS News is reporting that President-elect Donald Trump has sent out an invitation to Chinese President Xi Jinping for attending his inauguration next month. Now, Trump's inauguration officials are making plans for additional foreign dignitaries to attend the swearing-in ceremony. According to reports, Trump invited Xi in early November, shortly after the election, but it is not clear whether Xi has yet accepted the invitation or not. Federal Bureau of Investigation Director Christopher Wray has said he will resign before President-elect Donald Trump takes office next month. Now, Trump has indicated he would fire Wray. Wray announced at an internal FBI meeting on Wednesday that he had decided to step aside after weeks of consideration. Trump has already nominated Kash Patel, who has called for dramatically limiting the FBI's authority to lead the law enforcement agency. Mark Zuckerberg's Meta has donated $1 million to President-elect Donald Trump's inaugural funds. The donation comes 14 days after the Meta boss met with Trump at his Mar-a-Lago resort. It is indeed a major U-turn from 2020, when Meta banned Trump from its platforms after the January 6, 2021 insurrection. Fresh developments from the United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson's killing case. Police have found a positive match between the fingerprints of the prime suspect, Luigi Mangione, to those recovered on the crime scene. New York Police Department Commissioner Jessica Tisch confirmed that the fingerprints found on a water bottle and a protein bar near the crime scene matched those of 26-year-old suspect, who was arrested in Pennsylvania on Monday. According to a Bloomberg report, the US government is weighing new and harsher sanctions against Russia's lucrative oil trade. The Biden government is seeking to tighten the squeeze on Kremlin's war machine. Just weeks before Donald Trump returns to the White House, as per the report, details of the possible new measures are still being worked out, but Joe Biden's team is considering restrictions that might target some Russian oil exports. A United States intelligence assessment has concluded that Russia may use its new lethal experiment Oshnik missile against Ukraine again in the coming days. According to US officials, the missile is seen by US officials more as an attempt at intimidation than a game changer on the battlefield in Ukraine. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer greeted the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, during a state visit to Britain on Wednesday. On the second day of a two-day visit, Al Thani is scheduled to visit Westminster Abbey, a banquet at Buckingham Palace, and a meeting with the Princess of Wales. The Qatari Emir's visit also includes a trip to the Royal Military Academy and Sandhurst on Wednesday. Cristina Fernandez has been appointed the leader of opposition in Argentina, with the goal of reorganizing it to face the government of far-right Javier Milei. Now, Kirchner is the most influential political figure of the last 2 decades in Argentina. The 71-year-old is facing a conviction for fraudulent administration. She will now lead the Juristic Party, the Personas movement. While the Supreme Court decides on the open cases against her, the political leader can still run for public office without any restrictions. Hundreds of tractors blocked streets in central London on Wednesday, the latest protest by farmers against the government after it ended an exemption from an inheritance tax for agricultural families. Now the measure, dubbed the tractor tax by critics, was introduced by the government to boost funds to pay for strained public services, but farmers say it will destroy family farms and reduce food production. Farmers in the UK say their income has been squeezed over the years by Britain's competitive supermarket sector, cheap imports from abroad, and subsidy cuts following Brexit. A twin-engined propeller plane crashed onto a Texas highway on Wednesday afternoon, splitting in two and leaving debris scattered across the roadway. The Federal Aviation Administration said the only person on board the Piper PA-31 was the pilot. The pilot's name and the condition were not immediately released. 3 people have also been injured. One was transported to an out-of-town hospital for higher level of treatment. The FAA said it would investigate the crash.
Today, at approximately 3 p.m., officers responded to the area of the area that I just referenced an aircraft emergency. Upon arrival, officers observed a damaged plane with 3 damaged vehicles in the intersection. We were able to confirm that 5 people are involved and 4 have been transported. 3 were transported with non-life-threatening injuries, and 1 is being transferred to an out-of-town hospital for a higher level treatment. And the pilot is also being evaluated.
North Carolina lawmakers have enacted a law over the governor's veto on Wednesday that would diminish the powers afforded to his successor and other Democratic statewide winners in the November 5th elections. In a 72-46 vote, the Republican-dominated House overrode Democratic Governor Roy Cooper's veto a week after the GOP-controlled Senate voted to do the same. Opponents to the power-shifting bill sat in the gallery and disrupted the chamber's floor proceedings. More than 150 people gathered on the third floor, more than the House gallery could seat. They chanted shame as the override vote completed and continued to yell as they were escorted out.